Home to beautiful waterfalls, sacred mountains, shrines, and temples, Nikko is a popular weekend destination for people in Tokyo. With just a 2-hour train ride, you arrive at a magical plot of land floating up in the skies, secluded from all the distant chaos unraveling in the cities below. She is beauty, she is power, she is Nikko. And we're going to be spending 2 days here, exploring all the wonders she has to offer. I just finished packing for our Nikko trip, and I've just been going through all the places that we're going to be visiting, and I was also looking up some images of the places we're going, and there were reviews with pictures of warning signs about bears, and it just led me to this anxious spiral of thoughts because I'm very aware that I am in no shape to defend myself from a bear, and if there's no one there around me, that is going to be a very scary experience. On TV, there's been a lot of news about the bears being more aggressive this year, but if this video makes it up, it probably means I didn't get attacked by a bear. So if you plan on moving around Nikko via public transport, I would highly recommend getting the Marugoto Nikko Tobu free pass at the station counter. It is 4,810 yen from Kitasenju, and it covers the ride to and from Nikko, as well as unlimited rides on non-limited express trains and buses within Nikko. Limited express trains have additional fees which are not included in this free pass and will need to be paid from a ticket machine at the station. On a side note, Tokugawa Ieyasu, known to have brought order and unity to Japan, has woken up and is eager to explore Nikko in 2024, along with his 21st century translator, Little New Yorker. So, if you hear strange commentaries, you know who it is. I found the famous Yuba Manju shop called Nikko Sakaya that I had heard so much about right in front of the station. The salty exterior combined with the warm unko filling was absolutely delicious. I caught a glimpse of the Shinkyo Bridge on my way to the Narabi Jizo, so I decided to get off the bus to take a look. This current bridge was built in 1636 and was initially only open for generals and messengers from the imperial court, but was open to the public in 1973. Legend has it that Buddhist monk Shodo, the first head priest of Nikko, asked the mountain deities for help crossing the Daya River, at which point 2 snakes appeared and transformed into a bridge, creating the Shinkyo Bridge. Now, let's head over to the Ojizo-sans waiting for us with their red hats. Before we go further into our journey across Nikko, we must go say hi to the Narabi Jizo waiting for us at the Kanman Ga-fuchi abyss. They are protectors of souls of travelers and unborn children, and they spend their days gazing at the Daigawa River right below them. On the way back from Narabi Jizo to the Yasukawa-cho bus station lay a small shop by the Daya River. When I walked in, the shop owner looked up from his sudoku with a smile, and he was the warmest and kindest soul I met on this trip. I ordered a matcha latte to drink with the breathtaking view, and he gave me a map of Nikko while sharing some of his favorite Nikko recommendations with me. I just finished having my drink at the cafe, and the owner of the store was really nice. He was giving me tips and recommendations for Nikko, but he also found it funny how a lot of tourists would book their hotels way out on the opposite direction of where they want to go. My case too, the hotel we're staying at is at Kinugawa Onsen, but I wanted to see more nature spots. And apparently the Kinugawa Onsen area is known for their theme parks, and which is on the right side of Nikko, but most of the nature spots are on the left side of Nikko. And he was just laughing at how all these tourists come thinking Nikko is Nikko and it's like tiny, and their agendas or itineraries just look like it's all over the place, which is probably my case too. But he was very sweet. He gave me this map of Nikko, and he recommended Tokugawa Ieyasu's spot of burial that was around the cafe. So I'm heading over to that. Toshogu Shrine is a beautiful memorial made for me. I was enshrined here, just as I had stated in my will, and hence, this was where I woke up yesterday. It seems like my grandson had made it even bigger in the 17th century. There is a 1,600 yen entrance fee to view anything beyond the main gate, but the 5-story pagoda was outside the main gate, allowing people to have a look for free. This is said to be the most elaborate decoration used in Japanese shrines, as simplicity is often emphasized over embellishment. I was initially surprised at the entrance fee, which was 1,600 yen, but the Toshogu Shrine has been one of my favorite shrines that I have visited so far in Japan. The number of intricate craftwork on display throughout the entire shrine, and the feeling of being taken back in time, made the fee well worth it. After realizing I had taken over 20,000 steps walking around Nikko, I decided to head to the hotel that I was going to be staying at, called Kei's House Nikko. It is by the Kinugawa Onsen, which was one train from Nikko Station, so I decided to get dinner at Nikko Station since there was some time in between my transits. I stuffed my face with delicious food and rushed to the train just in time. Walking over to my hotel from the station, and the hotel is close to Kinugawa Onsen. It's a 13-minute walk from it, so I think I'm gonna drop off my stuff at the hotel once and then walk over to the onsen. According to JapanGuide.com, Kinugawa Onsen is a popular hot spring resort town along the Kinugawa River in Tochigi Prefecture. Many large hotels and ryokan line up along the riverbank, and theme parks such as the Tobu World Square and Nikko Edomura are close by as well. Kinugawa was extensively developed in past decades when many of the large ryokan complexes were built. Several of these have gone out of business over the years, leaving behind abandoned buildings along the riverbank. In response, the town has stepped up efforts in recent years to beautify the riverfront by removing some of the abandoned buildings while adding nature trails, parks, and footpaths. I'm back in the room, ready to go sleep. I'm actually the only one in this room for now. I see other people's belongings, so I'm pretty sure I do have roommates, but for now I'm alone, and I'm gonna go sleep a little early for an early start tomorrow. Good night. We are currently walking over to the station to head over to Yudaki Falls, and then after that all the different falls in the left side of Nikko are all going to be quite close together, so it's going to be a day full of exploring all of the nature spots on the left side of Nikko. We are going to go see 3 falls today: the Yudaki Falls, Ryuzu Falls, and Kegon Falls, which are all on the left side of Nikko. They're actually all interconnected, with Lake Chuzenji in the middle, which we will also be paying a visit to.
Is arriving. For your safety, please stand behind the studded yellow tiles.
The Yudaki Falls is an hour-and-a-half bus ride from Nikko Station. And once you arrive, you find yourself at a small brown bus stop in the middle of the woods called Yudaki Iriguchi. We are close to Yudaki Falls, and it's actually quite chilly and it's very cold. I should have expected this because we're so high up, but we're here. From the station, it is just a 9-minute walk to the bottom of the Yudaki Falls. Channeling my inner Totoro, I followed the signs down the hill to Yudaki Falls. Out of the 3 waterfalls, this was the most jaw-dropping fall, probably because of how close you can view it from, but also the place where I felt the most nervous about bears. It was the most secluded, and there weren't many visitors in sight around me. So I made this a quick visit without trying to walk up the trail alone. With just a 9-minute bus ride from Yudaki Falls, you arrive at Ryuzu Waterfall, which means Dragon Head Waterfall in Japanese. The name comes from the shape of the fall, which is supposed to resemble the head of a dragon. The waterfall is located on the Yukawa River, shortly before the river discharges into Lake Chuzenji. And if you walk up the steps right along the waterfall, you arrive at the top, which presents you the most astonishing view of both the Ryuzu waterfall and Lake Chuzenji. A 15-minute bus ride from the Ryuzu Falls takes you to Lake Chuzenji. This lake was created when Mount Nantai erupted around 20,000 years ago and is Japan's highest natural lake, with an altitude of 1,269 meters. I ended up taking the boat tour, which was 1,680 yen for one loop around the lake, which took around an hour. We were allowed to get on and off freely at each stop to explore the various areas around the mountain. Floating on a boat surrounded by mountains when I was already 1,269 meters above sea level was a surreal experience. It felt like I was flying, but at the same time floating while being immersed in a landscape that could have also appeared at sea level. And in that moment, it felt as if I was on a floating, magical land that only those who could fly could see. Legend has it that the deities of Mount Nantai and Mount Akagi in Gunma Prefecture battled over the ownership of Lake Chuzenji at the time of its creation. Mount Nantai, as a serpent, defeated Mount Akagi, a centipede, and Mount Nantai's grandson, Sarumaru, a master archer, is said to have delivered the killing blow by shooting an arrow into the giant centipede's eye. The name of the marshland by the lake, Senjogahara, which means battlefield, is said to have been named after this fight. There is also a festival every January at the mountain's base, where traditional Kyudo archers reenact the finale by shooting arrows towards Lake Chuzenji. It was time for a long-awaited lunch, so I headed to a small restaurant by the lake called Inariya. It seemed to be run by a mom and a son, and the trouts they served were the highlight of my meal with its salty, crispy skin. Now it is time to walk over to Kegon Falls, which is only a 10-minute walk from Inariya. When you get to Kegon Falls, you're greeted with the free observation deck that allows you to gaze at the waterfall from above. But if you want to see it from below, you will have to pay 570 yen for the elevator that takes you down. Water falling from the magical floating oasis of Lake Chuzenji creates the Kegon Falls. Splashing down 100 meters onto the piles of sturdy rocks, the water trickles down the maze nature laid out for them, and all I could think of was how amazing of a slide nature had made, and how fun it must be, if safe and possible, to slide down the Kegon Falls and plunge into the small pool below. It was crazy to think that even after a 1-minute descent on the elevator, I was still up in the sky with the mountains, and it really put into perspective how high up Lake Chuzenji really was, and how skewed our realities can be based on what we see around us. Currently waiting for the bus to go to Nikko Station. And then at Nikko Station, we'll be taking a train back to Tokyo. Very sad. And just like that, I took my last bus ride in Nikko to Nikko Station, where I boarded the train back to Tokyo. Every time I explore a new place, I feel grounded by the immense size of our world. But this trip to Nikko also reminded me of how interconnected our world is. Just like how the water in Yudaki Falls, Ryuzu Falls, Kegon Falls, and Lake Chuzenji flowed from one to the other, everything from our air to the trash that we dispose of, or even the things we say to others, gets passed on around the world in one form or another. In this sense, our actions can even affect those halfway across the world, and it's a great reminder that no matter how rigidly we try to classify our planet and even our universe, everything will circle around and somehow come back to us. And on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful night full of kind spirits and hopeful dreams.